It's Friday, July the 21st, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with the news that the Royal Barbados Police Force has revamped its anti-gun unit as it wrestles with the rise in gun-related murders. Acting Commissioner of Police Tyrone Griffith last evening revealed that firearms were used in 15 of the 19 murders so far this year, representing nearly 80% of all unlawful killings. This compared to 16 of 22 for all of last year, or 72% of murders. Griffith told the joint news conference with Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite that lawmen were worried about both the murder rate and the rise in the use of guns. As a result, changes have been made to the anti-gun unit to make it more effective,
where we've increased the numbers as well as retool the personnel, and that unit is now performing extremely well, to the extent that with the assistance of the TRU, the SCATS unit as well as the CID, we've been able to take some 44 firearms off the streets so far for the year. Yet we're aware that several firearms are still coming into the country. And we are seeking to have that dialogue with our other law enforcement partners at our points of entry to ensure that we can reduce the number of firearms that are entering our ports.
However, Attorney General Brathwaite said Barbados would need much greater financial and material resources to properly man the island's porous borders in order to get on top of the gun problem. Brathwaite also identified the increase in private yachts and the fishing boats that use the island's waters as another possible avenue through which illegal weapons enter the country undetected.
Every yacht that comes into Barbados is checked by customs and by immigration. Right? Anyone coming into the port. All I'm making the point is that we have no mechanism. If 50 fishing boats leave Oistins this afternoon, when all 50 of them come back into Barbados, they don't come back into the Bridgetown port and bring the passports, etc., and customs go on board and check them to make sure that all they brought in is flying fish. Right? It's a reality in terms of our border and how we operate, and I don't believe that we have the wherewithal or that we should move in the direction of every small fishing boat that leaves Foul Bay or Crane or Concept Bay that in fact that they should be forced to come back in and customs board them, etc. But then again, that's the importance of intelligence.
Meanwhile, police have made a breakthrough in their probe of the so-called ATM murder. 3 men are now in custody assisting them with investigations into the shooting death of 58-year-old Colleen Payne on Monday. Payne of Lodge Hill, St. Michael, was attacked and shot at around 9 p.m. while at the Royal Bank of Canada automatic teller machine at University Drive, Blackrock, St. Michael. She was rushed to hospital by ambulance but later succumbed to her injuries. In more police news, the Assistant Commissioner William Yearwood is saying there is need for an increase in the number of officers to service the country. Speaking on the sidelines of a celebration ceremony for 8 teenagers who successfully completed the Prince's Trust International Team Program last evening, Yearwood told reporters there is an acute shortage of officers, particularly males.
No, it's actually over 200 plus officers the force is short of because of persons who have retired, some of those who have resigned from the force, some of those who have been dismissed from the force. So we are indeed in need of young persons to come forward and join the force, particularly males. We do have a good quota of females, but we are indeed of need.
In other news now, this Friday, crippling sick-out action is expected to continue today across the public sector as the island's trade unions turn up their pressure to force the government to return to the bargaining table. Yesterday, most of the state-run transport board buses were off the road Even as workers at the Grantley Adams International Airport, the Bridgetown Port and other government departments went on a go-slow or called in sick. The unions have, however, come under fire from political economist Dr. Don Marshall, who's head of the Sir Arthur Lewis Institute of Social and Economic Studies at the University of the West Indies. He suggested the action was both misguided and unwise.
I don't dismiss their right to protest or anybody's right to register dissatisfaction with any policy measure. But I'm saying if you're really going to tackle the crises that labor faces in Barbados, then you have to be tackling the wage stagnation that we have known since 2008-9.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Morning, Miss Oya.
Morning. You again. So you're washing cars now? Well, I can't keep up with you at all.
Yes, girl. You know they're going provision to selling slow. And I don't sell nation newspapers at all because them don't sell. So I washing cars now. I like to get up before 8:30 because I can't take the hot sun. You want the car wash?
No, not today. It clean.
But you're going in very early though?
Yeah, I just going early so I can read the Barbados today online before work starts.
Right. But you can still let me clean the vendor for the $2. At least it's still cheaper than the nation newspaper.
All right.
I got a special boo here that I got it shiny. Thank you. Enjoy your day here.
You too.
All right. What that paper is? She can see clearly when the dirt is gone.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the regional now. Former Cayman Islands Premier and current Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, McKeever Bush, has found himself on the wrong side of the law away from home. Bush was arrested in Florida on Monday outside a casino following an altercation with a member of staff. The Seminole police record states he was arrested on suspicion of touch or strike battery, a misdemeanor charge. He has been reportedly released on $1,000 bond. Further afield, North Korea is facing severe food shortages after being hit by its worst drought since 2001. The United Nations has warned that crop production in the country has been hampered by a prolonged dry period and food imports are now urgently required to fill the gap.
If there's one thing the two halves of Korea have got in common, it's obviously the climate. And this half, the southern half, is already complaining about a very severe drought. Farmers in this area around Seoul say they're in extreme difficulty. If you look at the reservoirs around here, they are cracked and there are boats lying on the parched earth. If you go 40 kilometers in that direction, you get the border. And clearly the climate's the same, but the difficulties there are much greater because it's a closed economy, much more reliant on homegrown rice in particular. The state media in North Korea, the Korean Central News Agency, says that, quote, great damage is being done to agriculture there. Rice paddies should be covered in water if the rice is to grow to fruition and be harvested, but they're dry there. It is significant that the North Koreans are saying that. It indicates that the problem is real and that they may want help.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.